Hi, I'm Jackie. So let's talk pelvic organ prolapse. So last year, when I was 54, first signs I was getting that anything was wrong was when I had a poo, a bowel movement, and it felt like I'd not finished. It was a weird sensation. And I also had horrific pain around my coccyx. It was so bad I couldn't even sit down properly for 3 months. I had to stop work. It was horrendous. I went to see. I'd got a routine appointment with a bladder nurse because I've been having some leakage problems, like when I'm on movement and stuff like that. Nothing major, but enough to make me want to go and see somebody. She did an internal examination, and she said, "You've got a prolapse." I didn't know what a prolapse was. Do you know what I mean? I was 54 years old and I didn't know what a prolapse was. I guess it's something I've maybe heard people speak about, didn't really know anything. She said that it was posterior, so it was to do with pooing and stuff, basically. So it kind of made sense with some of those symptoms. She said it can affect your bladder as well. She told me it was mild to moderate. Now, I do know that morning I couldn't have a proper bowel movement. So obviously that's going to be there. When she's going inside, she can kind of, because she knows what she's looking for. Anyway, so basically she said, I'll see you in 3 months, do Kegels. That was it. So I came home, Googled it, and literally I was horrified. I was traumatized when I started reading what this was. And the things that you couldn't say and you couldn't do, like you can't do squats, you can't do long walks, you can't run. So many different things, you can't lift heavy objects. And I'm like, oh my God. So in those moments she said that to me, my life changed forever. It probably took me, I think, a good few days before I even said the word prolapse to my partner. I told him that something was going on and something wasn't right, but I didn't really explain it as such because it affected me as a woman. I'm like, this is horrific. So obviously my rectum was coming into my vagina, so the wall of what holds up your pelvic organs was weak, so it was coming into the vagina. Now, bearing in mind, I am not medically trained, I'm not a doctor, so some of the stuff I'm saying is probably not even right. All I'm doing is giving you my personal experience. There's so much that I can talk about, but I don't want to bore you on this video, so I will come back and talk about more. But what I will say is, a year later, I've now got every single prolapse. So I've got a rectocele, which is the rectum. I've got a cystocele, which is the bladder. My uterus has prolapsed. My perineum has prolapsed. And I've also got a very small bowel prolapse as well. I haven't had children, but this is linked to the fact that I've got hypermobility. That's something else I'm going to talk about because I didn't even know I'd got hypermobility. I've had to self-diagnose myself this year, right? I've had things, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia a few years ago. I actually now think that it was hypermobility and not fibromyalgia. Hypermobility can affect your tissues. Now, again, I'm not medically trained, but I know that it can affect tissues and ligaments, so they become weak, loose, stretchy. It can cause pelvic organ prolapse, especially for women who have not had children. So I'm going to talk more about it in other videos, some of the symptoms that I'm getting, some of the things I've found that help, some of the things that don't help. I have got an appointment with a private pelvic floor physiotherapist on Friday. I did have one last year, but I didn't really follow back through with it. But this time I am, because I've really got to sort this because it's having a massive impact on my life. And I will not let this define me. Do you know what I mean? I'm 55, 56 next month. Got a whole life still ahead of me. Do you know what I mean? So I can't let this have a huge impact. But what I do want to do is help other women that are going through this, that like me were just completely traumatized, and I thought my life was over. I said to my partner, when I found out I got the bladder prolapse, I said to my partner, I think you should leave. I think you should go and find somebody else. That's the impact that it had on my life. So I want to help other people that go through this. So stay tuned.